to Tahquamenon Falls, where you can't hear each other talk, and it's really, really cold, but it's so pretty. Welcome to Tahquamenon Falls State Park in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. This is the first park in our Centennial State Parks trek for 2019.
There aren't a lot of state parks open in Michigan in the winter, but there are some, and this is one of my favorites. I think it's one of the best parks in the winter because it offers so many things to do with all the snow they get here in the Upper Peninsula. There is snowshoeing, there is cross-country skiing. You can go up and see the upper and lower falls, which are really beautiful any time of year, but especially I think in the winter, it's a neat experience to see it when a lot of it is frozen over and you get to see the sort of the power and the beauty of nature in the wintertime.
Right, and one of the favorite things and the reasons why we like to come to this park in particular is that every year, every January, we gather with a group of friends, our road trek friends. And there's usually about 40 to 50 of us, and for a few days we hang out around the campfire, we go to dinner, we go snowshoeing, and we really much just hang out and have a good time with everybody. You know, we only see each other a couple of times a year, and we really enjoy each other's company.
This is what happens when the person who usually collects all of the firewood in her pickup truck decides not to come to the annual gathering. You kind of fill the aisle of your road trek with firewood. You know, we've done a video on winter camping and how we prepared the van and stayed warm in the van. And a lot of people might think, well, if you go camping in the winter in a place like this, you're just going to be inside the RV all the time unless you're out doing an activity like snowshoeing or something. But when you have a group of friends and you build a big fire and you stand around and keep each other company, it's plenty warm, it's plenty fun, and it's a good experience. This is a special park for us, too, because it was the first place that we camped with our road trek when we bought it, other than I think we did an overnight in the driveway. One night in the driveway to make sure we knew how it all worked. And then we came up here, which was crazy to think that our first camping trip in the new RV would be in January in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. But the road trekking group that we are a part of, this group of friends, we knew they would be here. And that was just a great experience because we knew as part of the sort of a microcosm of the overall RV community, people like to help each other. If you ever have any problems or questions on your rig, generally your neighbors are there to help you out. There are some pull-through sites available here at the Lower Hemlock Campground. Many of the sites are the back-in sites, like the one that we're in here. The other thing to keep in mind is that you tend to have the electric pole at the back of the site, and you're going to share it with a neighbor. So there's two outlets on each of the poles.
One of the biggest questions people always want to know when they go to a park is, what is it like from a privacy standpoint? How close are you going to be to your neighbors? Are you going to be right on top of them? Are you going to have a buffer in between? And so we always try to check that out when we go somewhere, because you do want a little bit of a distance. Tahquamenon seems to be nice-sized sites, but there definitely isn't a whole lot of privacy. It's a lot of pine trees, which don't provide hardly any cover. So there is space in between the sites, but not a whole lot of distance between you and your neighbor necessarily, or specifically privacy. It's nice here at Tahquamenon because it is winter camping and there is a lot of snow here because it's the Upper Peninsula, but it's great that they plow the sites out. So really all you have to do is make a reservation in the system, let them know what site you're going to be on, and before you get here, they'll plow out the sites. So as you can see, it's they've done a pretty good job of trying to keep them level. The sites themselves aren't particularly level, and that is one thing you have to know here coming, and some of the shorter sites are a little bit more on a hill. They are gravel sites as well, so you want to just kind of check with the park rangers or check on the site description on the website to make sure that you are getting one that your rig will fit on, but especially if you're coming here in the winter, they will do a good job of making sure that your site is plowed out for you. One of the other nice things is they do actually leave the picnic tables out. Now, depending on how much snow that you've received here, you might have to do a little bit of shoveling before you can actually use the picnic table. But when we get together over the group fire, we cleared off and we're able to set our drinks and food and appetizers and stuff on it. You just have to shovel it off a little bit, but I've been to many parks where they pile them up and lock them up off in the corner before and you can't use them at all. So it actually is really nice here that they do give you the option of having the table to use.
The Lower Falls Campground has a bathroom facilities, a bathroom building with shower and toilets and everything you might need. Now, in the winter, that's not open. It's all locked up. There's no water available here at the campground. There is electric year-round, but no water. Now, they do offer vault toilets if you want to use those, or you can use the unit in your rig. Like we've mentioned before, you can just flush with antifreeze. But the vault toilets are available if you want to use them. I will caution that they are unheated, so it's going to be a quick trip. I don't think anybody's going to spend any time reading any magazines in the vault toilets. Right off the Lower Falls Campground is the trail for Lower Falls. It's a nice little hike in the summer.
And perfect for snowshoeing in the winter. Here we go. What's up?
I'm just enjoying the view. I'm assuming in the summertime, people would sit here a lot longer and enjoy this view. But it's a little cold right now. It's cold out here. It's in the teens. But we basically have the trail to ourselves because not everybody likes to walk around in the woods when it's in the teens.
There are some disadvantages to being short. Other times, watch this. What can I say?
What do you think is the most dangerous part? Thin ice, fast river, or no cell service?
Totally the no cell service. I mean, how am I supposed to check Twitter if I can't get cell service?
When you head up to the Upper Tahquamenon Falls, there's a good-sized parking lot for parking everything from snowmobiles to RVs. There's also a brewery up here, a restaurant. There's a small gift shop that's open in the wintertime. And one extra bonus is on your way to the Upper Falls on the trail, there is a bathroom facility that is fully heated. When you're visiting the Upper Tahquamenon Falls, it's actually a really easy hike to get here. It's a nice paved path in the wintertime. The state does a good job of keeping this maintained so you can easily walk out to see the falls.
Right, and even if you have somebody in a wheelchair or a stroller, you can easily get out there. There may be 94 steps down to the viewing platform at the brink, but there are 2 viewing outlooks at the top. So no matter what type of condition that you are in, whether or not you can do stairs, there are definitely opportunities to see the falls no matter what. This overlook is probably one of my favorites. You get a really true look at what the falls are like, the river, and here in the winter, the trees with the snow on them. We kind of joke that this tree here in the middle ruins the entire thing, and as we've come over the years, we've watched it get bigger, but it kind of is just cool to see how much it's grown since we've been coming here for the past 5 years. Tahquamenon Falls might not be as big or impressive as Niagara Falls, but what I love is the color of them. They're affectionately known as root beer falls because of the tannin that leaches into the river upstream, and then by the time it gets down here to the falls, you get this lovely root beer golden brown color. And it's just really, really pretty. It just lends something different to it. So even though it's not as tall as some of the other waterfalls in the world, it just gives its own unique characteristic to it that makes it well worth a visit when you're up here.
Another day waking up to the same old scene, wasting time stuck in line, who you trying to be? Oh yeah, turn the music up, hit the road, say goodbye, time to cut those strings, pack your bags, don't look back, you're sprouting up wings. Oh yeah, I dare you to dream.
In 1883, the Tahquamenon River Improvement Company completed the removal of 16,000 cubic yards of sandstone, including a small waterfall from the bed of the river. The $41,000 project was done to make the river suitable for navigation, ready the river for log drives, and deepen the river to drain 30 square miles of swampland owned by the company.
Well, there might be 94 steps going down, but I swear there are 300 going back up. It's definitely a leg day workout. Tahquamenon Falls State Park is basically located in the town of Paradise, Michigan, or, well, about maybe 10 miles from Paradise. And Paradise is a fairly small community, and in the winter there's hardly anything open, maybe just a grocery store, gas station, a couple restaurants. If you come here in the summer, it's bustling with, tourists and families and people fishing and hiking. There's a lot of little cabins that you can rent, and actually a number of years ago, we stayed in one of those ourselves when we were up here during the summer. But in the winter, there's not a whole lot of options. One of our favorite places to visit with our road trek friends is the Inn Gastropub. It's basically a gourmet restaurant in the middle of nowhere. There's a story behind it. The chef who owned it was his grandparents' restaurant, and he took it over when it was afraid it was going to be sold and closed. And ever since, that was, I don't remember, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And it has turned into one of the best places to go. The food is fantastic, and you'll never get really a better cooked meal for great prices too.
Yeah, and I mean, you can get everything from your basic, burger pub. They have kind of the basic food, but then they always have specials every night that are a little more on the gourmet side. They have homemade desserts that are fantastic, so make sure you leave some room for that.
Definitely the carrot cake.
Even if you haven't left room for the carrot cake or the peanut butter pie, make sure you try that out. So, there is a lot to do outside here in Paradise. It's a great spot. Snowmobilers love this town. There's always snowmobiles around up here at this time of year.
You're in the UP when it's snowmobile parking in the front of the restaurant.
There's just a lot of things you can do. But one of the advantages of coming this time of year, as opposed to the tourist season, is there are much fewer people when you're trying to do something. And there are zero mosquitoes.
No bugs.
No bugs whatsoever. So that is one bonus when camping if you don't have to deal with bugs.
So keep on trekking.
And we'll see you out there.
Put your hands up, let your guard down, yeah, saying ooh.
You're starting.
No, you're oh.
You go first. We always do this. There's your blooper.